There is a fire on Capitol Hill today. A congresswoman just torched Kash Patel. Cue the conspiracy music. I'm David Reddish. Welcome back to Occupy Democrats. Of the Trump administration clown car, a wheezing, smoggy, scratched up, bleeding oil running down pedestrians with its left turn signal on the whole time. You get the idea. It's a clown car. And of all the creepy clowns in said car, FBI Director Kash Patel stands out as one of the strangest, and one of the most laughable, though not in a ha-ha kind of way. Need a reminder?
The 44-year-old Patel grew up on Long Island, the son of immigrants from Africa with Indian heritage. He attended Pace University, went on to be a public defender in Miami for 9 years, and then served as a Department of Justice prosecutor.
Kash Patel, where's Kash? Thank you, Kash.
The hardliner has been an ally to Trump for years, appearing at his criminal trial in New York and earning the praise of longtime Trump confidant Roger Stone. Patel has called for shutting down the FBI's headquarters in Washington.
I'd shut down the FBI Hoover building on day one and reopening it the next day as a museum of the deep state.
In his book writing, drastic measures need to be taken and that Democrats should be very afraid. He's also talked positively about the QAnon conspiracy on the podcast Patriot Party News.
You got to harness that following that Q has garnered.
Sick from the clown car fumes yet? Or maybe just sick from Kash Patel? Either's understandable. And that car's gonna burst into flames. Stay tuned. For the record, the Hoover building is still open, and it's not a museum either. But that shouldn't come as a big surprise. Just last week, a former FBI official claimed Patel shows up to nightclubs more than work at the FBI building. Now, that claim was called into question, enough so that MSNBC, which broke the story, walked it back as unconfirmed. Since that time, however, multiple other reports have suggested the allegation is true. Check it out.
In the heart of Washington, D.C., the 7th floor of the J. Edgar Hoover building should be a hive of strategy, oversight, and national security. But according to multiple reports and former officials, its most important occupant, FBI Director Kash Patel, is rarely there. Instead, Patel has reportedly become a more familiar face on nightclub dance floors than in FBI briefings. Reportedly, he's been visible at nightclubs, far more than he has been on the 7th floor of the Hoover building, Figluzzi said, adding that Patel's daily briefings have been slashed to just twice a week.
So, just a few months into office, and Patel's use of government funds and vow to politicize the FBI has already landed him in hot water. Big surprise from a man who printed an enemies list in his book and who spouts conspiracy theories about January 6th. And if that galls you, you're not alone. Called before a House subcommittee today, Democratic Representative Madeline Dean took Patel to task over his associations, his spending, and just about everything else about his job. Have a look. Now, this is a long clip, so you're going to want to watch the whole thing. It's kind of amazing.
Agency. I was an impeachment manager for President Trump's second impeachment. It was a sad, solemn duty. And so I wanted to ask you about that. Mr. Patel, as you and the President continue to weaponize and investigate his perceived enemies, as you follow this blueprint, when can I, a former impeachment manager, expect the FBI at my door?
Ma'am, you want to know who was targeted by a weaponized FBI? Me. You want to know how and why?
Well,
you want to know what I'm doing to fix it?
That. Let me move on.
Well, you should read the
topic.
book because there's no enemies list on that book.
So
there are people that violated their constitutional obligations and their duties to the American people, and they were rightly called out. And you should give that book to every one of your constituents so they can read about it.
I won't be doing that.
That's their loss.
During your Senate confirmation hearings, you repeatedly denied having any involvement as a private citizen in the firing of FBI officials who engaged in the prosecution against January 6 insurrectionists, the violent rioters who beat and killed Capitol police officers, and whom you referred to as political prisoners. Since then, multiple whistleblowers have come forward, and we know that you likely committed perjury. At the same hearing, you claimed you were not familiar with Stu Peters, an anti-Semitic Holocaust denier, despite the fact that you appeared on Mr. Peters' podcast 8 separate times. 8 times. And you claimed not to recall. Mr. Patel, my second question is, should we worry more about your memory or your veracity?
We should worry more about your lack of candor. You're accusing me of committing perjury. Tell the American people how I broke the law and committed a felony. Have the audacity to actually put the facts forward instead of lying for political banter so you can have a 20-second donation hit.
The answer is both. I believe that
the answer is you're failing, not me.
Play my time.
Go ahead.
Mr. Patel, I believe that the members of the FBI, and I know many of them, many retired, 38,000 people, as you say, it's a little less than that now, deserve the very best, deserve extraordinary independence, deserve freedom from the fears of being investigated, the freedom of coming forward to make sure they're doing their job.
You know, I'm sure right-wing world is going nuts about how Kash Patel owned Congresswoman Dean, but I don't know. He comes off like a petulant child to me here. If he actually was good at his job, he would address her concern in a well-mannered and thoughtful way. Though Patel doesn't seem fully capable of lucid thought, even at the best of times, and if he is going out clubbing all the time, his brain is probably fried. I mean, we've all been there, right? But more importantly, this little exchange further affirms what the public already knew about Patel, the truth he has tried hard to avoid. He's just another partisan lackey, totally unqualified for his job, and with little interest in doing it. I would argue that he also has little interest in keeping America safe or free of crime. He's collecting a paycheck, reveling in his notoriety, fundraising for the GOP, and cosplaying like every other dang member of the Trump government. Patel has proven he knows how to throw a fit. Now let's pray he can actually do his job before terrorist threats happen. This is Occupy Democrats.